Welcome to InTouch, dedicated to real estate professionals worldwide. We're here to educate you, entertain you, and empower you in all facets of real estate. Are you ready for the latest news, trends, and market updates? Then it's time to get in touch. Welcome to the show. Today, we are going over Rule 2 of 7 Steps to Powerful Paychecks. And today's title is Identify Your Target Market. The theme is your audience is waiting for you. So if you're a business professional and you're not having the success that you desire, I can point to this one rule as one of the main reasons why that success is not coming to fruition. And that is you have not quite identified your target market. So I'm joined in the studio today by Gary Giffin. Gary, welcome to the show.
Great to be on the show, Andrew. Happy early 4th of July.
Excellent. Yourself as well. And as we dive into the target market, you're somebody who has clearly identified who your target market is. You're a San Diego native. You love to fish. You love to surf. You love people in general. You've got a great sense of humor. And you go out to the world seeking out people who appreciate and value the same things that you do. So I'm going to read a little bit from the book in the course, 7 Steps, and then we're going to engage in the commentary around this theme that your audience is waiting for you. And I'm going to start with a scripture. This is one of my favorite scriptures out of Proverbs. It says, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold." And the point of that proverb is that your reputation, that good name, should be chosen rather than great riches, because when you have a good name, you have plenty of opportunities to do business and generate income. And loving favor rather than silver and gold, because your security should be in God and his favor, not in physical assets like silver and gold. So let's get to the main part here. And I'll just read a few lines. It says, your audience is waiting for you. There's an audience for everyone. Who is your audience? You can find your audience and properly market to them by doing a deep interpersonal dive to discover who you are. Your target audience is made up of individuals and groups that share your values and beliefs. They think and act just like you. They identify with your character traits and interests. This is why it's so important for you to clarify your vision, mission, and purpose. It's what will attract your prospects to you. Once you are clear on who you are as a business person and what your mission is in the business world, you can create communication methods and value propositions to attract like-minded people with similar morals, ethics, and values to purchase your product or use your service. So let's go deep. I want to hear your thoughts on that. You get it, Gary. I see the way that you communicate, the way that you've built your database, your audience over the 10 plus years that I've had the privilege to know you and do business with you. But for those who are struggling to really figure out, like, who is my audience? How do I communicate and even find them and target them so that they'll consider doing business with me?
Yeah, I think, Andrew, and anybody can actually go to my personal website, which is on AARE, and take a look at that link, and you can get an idea of who I am just by my website, because I did have it tailored so people can understand what my personality is. And yes, I love to be outdoors, photography, being in the ocean, surfing, fishing. I collect certain things like watches, dive watches. I love to be generous and help other people in that surf community. So I do tailor my day around my interests, and I do like to enjoy what I do. So for me, you have to be you have to understand who your audience is and be around those people.
And it starts with some organization. We talk about in business, especially in the real estate business, building out a database. It's a very popular thing, a CRM, getting organized. I absolutely endorse and promote that. Creating a powerful database that you can utilize all the proper methods of communication to market to. And I like to say it like this is, build a database of friends. You can build a database of strangers if you wish. You can get lists off the internet and you can try to generate what's called leads from various sources, but you don't know those people. So this trust curve of the relationship that you're going to have to build with people typically takes 6 months, 9 months, even longer. Some people have an innate ability to market quickly and develop relationships quickly. And God bless those people. That's really exciting that they're able to do that. But I've found that those people are transactional in their business. They're not necessarily relational. They're always looking for the new lead. Whereas building a database or a target market, starting with your peer group, your sphere of influence, and working out from there organically yields the best results. And I'm not alone. There's plenty of mentors and coaches that promote a very similar philosophy. But again, I want to read a scripture because I like to bring it back to authority. And the word of God is certainly an authority. And this comes out of Proverbs as well. And it says, the righteous choose their friends carefully. And so my suggestion to people listening in business is choose your clients carefully as well. All it takes is one or two sour clients and bad eggs to really take you off track for your year, your week, your mental positive attitude, which is what we talked about in Rule 1. But going deeper into the database and figuring out where you're going to house that database, how you're going to communicate with that database, really splitting up the database into existing relationships, which we call friends, and new relationships, which we call strangers that have the potential to become friends. How do you differentiate the two, Gary? And what does your mix look like? How much of your business is existing relationships versus brand new relationships?
Yeah, good question, Andrew. I had a call yesterday with a lender, and he had asked me the question, well, where does most of your business come from? He wanted to get to know me, and I said, really, if I even look back, 6 months to a year, and I look at my business, 80% of that is past clients, and I would say the rest is referrals, and there's a little bit of new clients in there. Of course, I always take on new clients. I do interview them to make sure that we can work together. And if it's a good fit, then I will work with that client. And then usually over time, uh, we become friends. Most of my clients know me personally. Sometimes we get together and just have coffee together or pizza or whatever it is. But my clients know who I am. They prefer working with me, and having that database, whether it's on an Excel spreadsheet or it's in your phone, that's real key to maintaining your business over the next 2 to 5 years, or however long you're going to stay in your business.
In the real estate business, it's interesting that we refer to clients as past clients. I address this in the course in the book, and my encouragement is to replace that word with existing clients. If you speak with financial advisors, accountants, attorneys, they refer to their clientele as an existing client, right? There's nothing past about them yet. It has become a common theme in our industry to refer to clients as past clients once a transaction is done. And that mindset is a shift for people to start to think about their relationship as a milestone relationship when transactions close, rather than, okay, that's done. Now I need to move forward and go somewhere else or work with somebody else. I do love the fact that you bring in new clients into your business. There's another very popular term in our industry that is by referral only. And it's a bit of a prideful term in the sense of like, oh no, I don't take new clients. I only work by referral. And I appreciate that is very dreamy to have your phone ringing all the time just with referrals, but I would put people through a couple market cycles and then talk to them about that by referral only and how that's working out. Because the fact is that unless you've grown your business so substantially that you can work only by referrals, you are going to need to generate some level of new business, especially during downturns in the market. Because regardless of your service, your network, if your base, your referral base, stops doing business because, for example, the market we're in right now, they have a great interest rate. They don't need to sell or buy property. They don't have any desire to transact. Well, then you're going to be waiting for a long time for those referrals to come back. So, what are you going to do? And if you've built your business solely on referral, then you find yourself actually very subject to the market cycles. So, my suggestion is a good mix. And I love what you said, Gary. It's an 80-20. That's a very healthy mix. That way, you are spending the majority of your time with people that know you, like you, and trust you, your existing clients and the people that they refer. But you're open and practicing constantly with new relationships to engage them. And if you need to ramp up because the market cycles and there's a downturn and you need to move 20% up to 30% or 40% as far as new clientele, well, you're already in motion versus if you're referral only, you're at zero and trying to ignite the prospecting and the habits to generate new clients when recessions inevitably show up is very, very challenging. So let's talk about databases. When you're first building your database, if you're new to the business, obviously you're going to have to generate a lot of new relationships and grow that business. But once you've established that, again, if you're taking care of your clients, we talk a lot about that in step 7 of our 7 steps course, the relationship, then your business will start to grow organically. But as we talked about at the beginning of the episode, choosing wisely who to put in your database. The common practice tells us that whoever has the largest database wins, or fill your database with as many people as possible. Just generate as many views and likes and follows and bring in all the strangers in the world. In my opinion, it's not a wise strategy. But Gary, I did want to get your thoughts and opinion on this. You have found clients that reflect your values, morals, and ethics instead of just filling your database with random strangers' names and emails and phone numbers. How did you go about that? And in reflection, are you glad you went that route?
Absolutely. You definitely want to work with people that you enjoy working with. And you said it right. They have, well, most of them have the same beliefs that I do. If they don't, they want to find out, what I believe in. And I do still, I guess you'd say, mining your database. I still add to my database. I am a bank. I work with Bank of America as far as an associate realtor. Redfin as associate realtor. I do some relocation services. So I've got, a couple people out there that when when they are hiring new people in San Diego in pharmaceutical sales or whatever it is, they'll call me and say, "We've got a new executive. They're moving into the area. Can you help them?" Sure, I can. Well, what's the zip code? So you want to constantly be working on that database because, as you know, Andrew, in this market right now with high interest rates, well, there's not a lot of people wanting to sell their house where they, have a loan interest rate of maybe 2.5 or 3%, and then buy something new and jump up to 6.5%. So, it's constantly adding to your database, and not letting it get stale.
That's a good suggestion. And preparing yourself to communicate. It's interesting. I mentioned in the course, nearly 200 years ago, the telegraph cable was invented, which essentially allowed people to send messages in short code. And a text is no different. It's basically a modern day telegram. Although now it's instantaneous, you're not waiting days for this to be delivered. But it still restricts the individual to a limited number of characters and words. And in my opinion, this is the least effective form of communication in today's modern age. Is it convenient? Yes. Is it fast? Yes. Does it allow relationships to develop? Well, limited relationships at best. Now, if you already know somebody, that's fine. Texting is very convenient. However, in the new modern digital age, it's getting harder and harder to develop new relationships with people. They don't pick up their phone. They may or may not have a voicemail set up. They want to text before they will even engage you or look you up online, some form of social proof and testimonials or reviews or analysis about who you are. So, my encouragement for the modern day real estate broker, agent, manager, loan officer, those listening that are in this business is I would master your methods of communication, and you're going to need to use all of them: email, text, voice, social media, etc., because there is a division in the way that people are choosing to communicate these days. And it's getting harder and harder to develop brand new relationships, which will have ultimately an impact on your business. The good news is, on the flip side of the coin, it's never been easier to stay in communication with your relationships. Video conferencing, for example, that's huge. That saves you the time, the gas, the face to faces that you needed to do that took a lot of time to set up and go and prepare. Now you can do them from the convenience of your own home. Now, one other tidbit that I would throw in there is that emails, although they seem like they're fading, they're getting old, right? Text has kind of taken over, now voice text. It's the primary documentation method. So if you're going to be in business, you do need to master that format, because when it comes down to legal and liability issues, there's nothing more powerful than an email with that timestamp. Not to say that you can't utilize text messages and things of the sort, but it's very hard to see context and text chains and exactly the timestamps on those things versus the emails, which clearly spell out things that you need to put in writing to protect yourself. So the encouragement: simply use the various communication methods, and that will help you. Now, let's go over, as we wrap up here, our paycheck principle for the day. And that is: a powerful database leads to powerful paychecks. Without that powerful database, it will be nearly impossible to generate those powerful paychecks. Now, you may be somebody that is not organized, and you're saying, yep, all my contacts are in my phone. Thank God there's this thing called the cloud. If I lose my phone, I can automatically update and get all those contacts back. But the right way to do it is to put them in a CRM, customer relationship management system, and to be organized so that you can market with the different methods. So, Gary, I want to talk to you about this because we've spent years together. We've built various databases. I know you are a person of discipline. You enjoy technology, but you also appreciate the kind of old school way of doing things. Like, you keep your calendar in a booklet and you can see your week, you can see your points of contact that way, but you also utilize technology for what it's worth. So, how did you originally organize your database, get it all together? I know it's a painstaking process. And how do you stay in touch with it today?
Yeah, I am old school as far as old school goes. Yeah, in front of me, I have a paper calendar. I doubt there's many people out there on this call that still looks at their whole week on a piece of paper and hour by hour decides what they're going to do and where they're gonna where they're going to be. But that's easier for my mind to see it than it is digital. So still doing that. And back in the day, when I first started with Andrew, we used a program called Real Geeks. I still have a good portion of some of my database is still in Real Geeks. Some of it's still in the MLS, but honestly, most of my database is in a Excel spreadsheet, and it is ABC clients. So I know which clients are the ones that I need to touch all the time. And those are the ones that, if you look at my sales over the past year, 2 years, um, gosh, 75% of my money is coming from those clients, and they still refer me business. Um, I would say monthly, I'm getting phone calls from those clients. So there are a lot of great databases out there, and technology. Certainly, you can turn around and find a new database and figure out, what works for you. But this is what's worked for me over the years. So probably we'll continue with this method.
And I love this question we often get, what's the best CRM? And our answer is always the same. It's the one that you use. There is no silver bullet as far as the type of software. It really doesn't matter. It's the one you're actually going to use. At this stage, this later stage in technology development, all of them have the key features. And the question is, on a daily basis, do you see yourself spending time on a desktop, on mobile? Do you find yourself in Excel or Google Sheets, spreadsheets? And if you don't, then how are you going to organize? I mean, I still know a lot of brokers that are out there operating on a yellow pad, a yellow legal pad. God bless them, because that's what works for them. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. But if you're going to approach the digital age for what it is and market in social media, so on and so forth, my recommendation is exactly what Gary did and so many others that I've mentored and trained over the years is get into Excel or Google Sheets at this point and get your database in a spreadsheet first. And the reason for this is because that way you have full control over the database. If you want to upload it to a certain software during this season, great. If something happens to that software, or for whatever reason you don't want to utilize it anymore, you go back to your spreadsheet and you can upload that somewhere else versus putting all your eggs in one basket in one particular CRM. And then, God forbid, for whatever reason, you missed the bill, it got shut down, you've lost data. I've heard these stories over and over again, especially with phones. Now with the cloud, it's um, less likely because it stores your data for you. However, imagine all this time and effort and then somehow you lose it. So getting that master database on that Excel or Google sheet, many times that's all you need, just like you heard Gary say, and then rating them A, B, C. And I give some analogies throughout the course. There's lots of fun exercises you can go through to assess your clientele. And we give a stadium example. I'm not going to go through it now, but we'll go through it in another rule, which essentially dictates what seats the clientele is sitting on. And your goal is to get all these people on the field participating with you. But the simple method is just ABC. The A's are people that are your advocates, your ambassadors. They are referring you business actively, and they're going to be your champions in the marketplace to generate referrals. The B's are people that you really enjoy that may have sent you one or two referrals here and there, but you're trying to move them up to become an A client so that they would generate more business. And the C's are people you still continue to have in your database, but they're not necessarily giving you business. You've done business with them, but you haven't generated new business from them. So that's a very simple way to get going with your database. So, final words, Gary, as we wrap up today's show. If somebody's out there saying, okay, I'm ready, I want to target my target audience. I want to find them. I want to communicate with them. I want to build this database. What is the inspirational words to get them started?
Yeah, they really just need to get outside and meet people. I think we're always talking about face to face. You certainly can text people, but I think what you need to do is meet them for coffee, go out for a slice of pizza. Um, be intentional about meeting these people, in person. Finding out what you love to do. There's plenty of groups out there that, no matter what you do, if it's flowers, photography, whatever it is, go find a group of people that enjoy the same things that you enjoy. Go meet with them, and you'll develop relationships probably rather quickly, and those will usually turn into a paycheck because they'll want to see what you're doing. They'll always ask you, well, what do you do? And you can say, well, I'm in real estate investing. Oh, that's great. I love real estate. Almost 100% of the people love real estate or they love talking about it. So don't sit in front of your computer and stare at your screen. Get outside, get out there and meet people. That's my tip for this week.
Love it. And what you're really describing is what's that internal mission statement? If not, your journey is aimless. And I want to encourage people, if you haven't put this on paper, it is time. A well defined personal mission statement clearly explains what you do and how you plan to execute your vision. Think of your mission statement as your calling in your career. Write it from the heart. Don't have a cliche statement. Now, it should correlate with whatever your vision is. Let's say your vision is to be successful and generous and help other people, but it is different from your vision. So if you haven't written your personal mission statement, today is the day to do that. Now, as we wrap up, I'm going to give you just a few pieces of knowledge and wisdom that come from the scripture. And that is desire God to show you his approval and make your plans successful. Choose your friends carefully. Decide not to be friends or clients with angry or hot tempered people. And the result is prosperity if you listen to instruction. And the promise is this comes from the Bible, that a hard worker will have ample food, but someone who chases fantasies has no wisdom. And here are some words of wisdom from the book of Proverbs. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. And a few questions to meditate on this week. Who is your target market? Are you attracting the right kind of people? Have you identified the best way to communicate with your market? And how can you expand your target market? Your final call to action: find your market, choose wisely, communicate regularly. May God bless you. We'll catch you on the next episode.